Hello there, welcome to my views and news. Can you hear me, viewers? Thank you, Yusuf, for responding with yes. Warm welcome to all of you. Let me welcome the participants. Before that, just a roundup of the upcoming news stories. Firstly, Somaliland, where arrests have been made in the last 2 to 3 days. Dozens arrested. Somaliland claims to be a democratic country that. Am I on mute? Someone is saying you're on mute. No, okay. So we'll talk about Somaliland first, where arrests have been made. What prompted these arrests? And will it damage Somaliland government's credentials, which claims to be the most democratic country, self-proclaimed country in the region, obviously, not recognized by any country, any international forum. Secondly, Menen Haile, Tafira Mamu's wife, was arrested around 5 months ago by Ethiopian police. Has she been released? She's from Eritrea, I think. Thirdly, a message from Fano to people of Gondar. Gondar is going to be the center of upcoming Epiphany celebrations. What is the message from Fano to Gondar people? And fourthly, very interesting development, unconfirmed reports. Again, I would say unconfirmed reports that unconfirmed reports by some Sudanese news outlets. They claim that Al Burhan, Sudanese military chief, is on his way to Iran. Let me welcome the participants now who have made it to the live chat. Klaus New, first one who commented, welcome Klaus, Speed 5, Teddy Fan, MT, Irmias Abdisa, Johannes, Voldekidan, Yusuf Kabede, Zeriyat Abraha, Adam Ahmad Ibrahim, Beniam Sigai, Simon Tesfaye, Tekle Goetom, Burji Suyama, Bacha Gerbi, Oromo News Update Stocks Tutorial, Said Khadar, Nahom Architects, Dani, Hirshi Fo, Giram Zaleke, Nahom Architects, Casa, General Comsa, 120 ML winners, 120 ML winners back after a little break. I did not see him in the last few live chats. Abdirrahman Muhammad, Desai Bijine, Bilal Moche, Abdirrahman, Tiago Mangisha, Ebe Carreo, Isfaldat, Rajat Kapila, Araya Voldekidan, Let There Be Light, Ediso Abate. Warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for making these live chats possible. Live chats are not possible without you people. I can make videos, but you people make live chats possible. Yeah, 120 MIL winners. I can understand life is busy, definitely. Thank you for taking time out for this live chat. AM Hersi, Nathan Ediso. Simon Tesfaye says Omar al-Bashir was close with Ahmadinejad as well as Isaias. Yeah, but Omar al-Bashir was close to Saudi Arabia as well. I think he shifted alliances, if I am not wrong. Now Burhan is shifting alliances as well. I'll speak a little later in this live chat on this topic. Tilashi Katima joined too. Tiago says update and true information would not be available without you. You people make it possible. So all credit goes to you. Samuel Faleke says, hello Sajid Bhai, welcome Samuel Faleke. Abjun Arge says hello. Okay, let me start, viewers. Can I start from the Somaliland, which claims to be democratic, that democracy is in full swing? Perhaps the most democratic is Somaliland, according to the claims of the Somaliland government. Well, David Kidan and Mariam joined to Gababo Goyo says, welcome Sajid, we love you, brother, from Ethiopia, Oromia region. Welcome, Gababo, love you too. Yeah, Oromo news update. I'll respond to your comment. He says RSF appears to be modern than old regime. I don't know how modern RSF is, but the birth of RSF was from a militia, an ethnic militia. Can it rise from militia to a modern army? Jamal, Yaya, Math Channel, Mike, Mig-O. Let me start with Somaliland, where people are in touch with me. I told you that after I started covering the conflict between Ethiopia and Somalia a few days ago, I received lots of emails, messages on other platforms too. And now people from different parts of Somalia, Somaliland, Somali region of Ethiopia are in touch with me. And somehow I managed to get information from far off areas. And now it is being confirmed to me that dozens of people have been arrested in Somaliland. Uh, who are these people who have been arrested? What is their crime? What are their alleged crimes? Well, what is being told to me is that we know that in Odal zone of Somaliland, there was a big protest a few days ago, and that was thank you, Hirsi. Hirsi is from SSC Khatomo control area, Somaliland. But this entity claims to be independent from Somaliland. It wants to be part of, I think, Somalia. So there was a big protest in Burama, Somaliland, Odal zone a few days ago. Protest was against the MOU signed between Ethiopia and Somaliland. Uh, Magnetism joined to magnetism welcome. And after that, we saw, thank you, 120 MIL winners for buying this super chat for $19.99. Thank you, 120 MIL winners. Uh, and after that, we saw a meeting in Burama 2 days ago. Meeting was held a day before the so-called Million March in Mogadishu. Meeting was held to prevent any protests in support of Somalia in Burama. And Odal zone tribal leaders, government officials, and security officials participated. And we saw no protest in Burama after that. Security forces have launched a crackdown now on those elements which protested in Burama a few days ago. Protested against the MOU. Gadabursi tribe members live here, and obviously Ishaq tribe, members live here, two Somali Isas live here as well. Different tribes, but I think main tribe is Gadabursi tribe. Arrested people are in dozens, mainly youths, a few women as well. Why have they been arrested? They are being accused of organizing the protest which happened in Burama a few days ago. The Somaliland government does not want any protest against the MOU in Somaliland. We could see similar protests in other parts of Somaliland too, because we saw protests in Barrow too against the MOU. But in Boramo, there was a big protest. That is why government has launched a crackdown to silence all those elements which are opposing the MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland. The credentials of this democratic Somaliland governments are going to take a serious hit because, by the way, Somaliland is not an ideal model of democracy because Musibi Abdi is on uh, extension. His mandate expired last year, and election could not be held on time. Election is going to be held after a few months in Somaliland. But Somaliland is a better democracy than Somalia. I think there is one person, one vote in Somaliland. But in Somalia, no one person, one vote. Tribes mainly elect MPs, then MPs elect president or prime minister. Welcome, Kira, new member. She joined yesterday. Welcome, Kira. Just you saw what happened in Puntland. Regional election was held 2 days ago there, where Abdullah Dini has been re-elected as the president, and there was no one person, one vote election. Rather, MPs elected the new regional president, who is now who has secured a second term now. But in Somaliland, I think elections are one vote, one person election. Somaliland better, but still a lot needs to be done. We know that a few days ago, during a live broadcast, some Somaliland journalists were arrested by security forces. Why? Because they they were part of a discussion about the MOU between Ethiopia and Somaliland. So this shows how committed Somaliland is to the MOU. Why? I've been saying that, viewers, for days that Somaliland is seeing a real chance of recognition by a country. For decades, Somaliland has been struggling. It has been making all types of efforts, offering land to US, uh, hoping that some country will recognize Somaliland. It has not happened so far. This is the first time that Somaliland could be recognized by a country. That is why Somaliland won't withdraw from this MOU. It will silence those voices in Somaliland which are opposing the MOU with Ethiopia. EDU, that is called parliamentary democracy. Mike says Somalia have the right to protect their region, Somaliland, from Oromo invasion. Well, you shouldn't call it an Oromo invasion. Uh, Ethiopian National Defense Force is not just composed of Oromo soldiers, Oromo politicians, Oromo journals. And government is not just Oromo government. There are other ethnicities too. Where is Mustafa Umar from, by the way? Mustafa Umar, Somali region's president, spoke yesterday, read a video this morning. He's a Somali member of Prosperity Party, PP leader in the Somali region of Ethiopia. He backed the deal. Uh, and have you seen any opposition to this deal in Gomez, in Afar, in Gambela, in southern Ethiopia? So it's not just Oromo. Yes, Oromos are in a strong position in government now, in top positions. But to say that it is Oromo versus Somalis would lead to fueling of ethnic conflict in this region. Geremio Aragao says, read about the history of Horn of Africa. Well, I have been receiving this suggestion for the last 3 years. Since I started covering Ethiopia, I started covering Tigray, I was told to read history. Read this, read that. Why not just analyze the present and the future? Little bit of past as well. Little bit of past. But no, not we shouldn't go deep into past. Past cannot be revived, I think. Those who are nostalgic, they know that they cannot bring about any change. They'll feel conflicts, I think. Oromo News Network says, news update, I think Amhara's trying to turn Somalis against Oromos. Or Entertainment says, surprisingly, Oromo and Somalis are families. I don't know why Somalis hate Oromo so much. They don't hate. I won't say that Somalis hate Oromos, but Somalia's government is playing all cards. It wants to unite Somalis. Somalis in Somalia, in Somali region of Ethiopia, in Djibouti, in Somaliland. They are playing all cards. Sometimes religious card that Christianity is being spread. Sometimes ethnic card that Oromos want to annex Somaliland. Sometimes a nationalist card that Ethiopians want to again wage war on Somalia. Political card, regional card. That is what they're doing because they want to stop Ethiopia from gaining access to the sea. Does Puntland want independence like Somaliland? Some states have been calling for more autonomy, but they have not been operating like Somaliland has been operating. Somaliland has been operating almost independently for 3 decades. Big Sky Agricultural Import Export says, what is the difference between a port being constructed by Dubai's DP and what has been planned by Ethiopia in Somaliland? We don't know the content of the MOU. Obviously, Ethiopia will have a naval base in Somaliland. Where will it build a port? Will it use Berbera? Will it build a new port? That is not clear. Maybe for the time being, Ethiopia will use Berbera. And then it will build a new port in Somaliland, maybe in Logahaya. But it's not clear. Since it's a 50-year lease, so maybe Ethiopia can build a port as well in a few years. Uh, or it might rejoin the Berbera project. It was a party, it was a shareholder when the construction started, but it had to withdraw because of the war in Tigray. Now it might rejoin. I think that Ethiopia wants a naval base and a separate port as well. But since we have not seen the MOU, so no one clearly knows. Kira says, do you have any information about the several Amhara civilians that were massacred in North Shore, Mirhabate? Yeah, I could not make a video about that. There was a Don't Strike era in Mirhabate this morning. I'm not sure about the exact timing of the Don't Strike, but it happened reportedly. What was the target? I don't know. Whenever Don't Strikes happen, target is always Fano. Sometimes civilians die too in these Don't Strikes. I think Mirhabate has been hit in the past as well, last month too, in some drone strikes. Mirhabate is in North Shore, and from Mirhabate you can move towards Oromia too. So, yes, a drone strike happened there. Maybe civilian casualties too, but I'm not sure. Agona says, my intuition is telling me that Ethiopia will never ever get any port ownership. I believe my intuition. Let's see. Let me speak a little about the second development, viewers, which is from Ethiopia. General Tafiramamu led Amhara Special Force during the Tigray War when Tigrayan forces entered Amhara region in 2021. He was leading ASF. And the man is a hardliner Amhara, I would say. People might not like my comments about Tafiramamu, but he remained at loggerheads with military, and he backed Fano a lot. He supported Fano a lot. ENDF was heavily supported by ASF and Fano back then. Tigray forces had to retreat from Amhara, and after that, the Firamamu was fired. He was offered portfolio of advisor to Amhara regional president. He refused. His deputy was fired too. I think he was arrested too. His deputy was arrested too, but he was released. Then he tried to move abroad because he had a health condition, but he was not allowed to travel. And then we saw some statements from Menen Haile, his wife, who is an Eritrean, and Firamamu. Firamamu criticized Prosperity Party officials. He said that some PP members want to destroy Amhara region, Amhara people. That is why he was arrested. Later, he was released. Man, Haile was arrested around 5 months ago. And by the way, Tigrayans in the 2 year long war have been accusing Man Haile that Man Haile fueled violence on Tigrayans. She's from Eritrea, maybe that is why, but she was accused of uh, fueling conflicts leading to massacres of Tigrayans. Menon was arrested 5 months ago, but I think today she has been released. She has confirmed through a social media post that she has been reunited with her family. Be real, back foot joined to be real as well. Max Ali says not an inch. By the way, what happened to that protest by Somalis in front of Washington, Ethiopian embassy in Washington? Welcome to Gesti. Uh, because it was being announced in social media. A lobbying firm had announced that there would be a protest on the 12th of January by Somalis in front of Ethiopian embassy. I could not find any information after that. Was there a protest or not? Was it cancelled? If you have any information, do share with me. Jumble says hi. Hi, Jumble. Welcome. Oromo News Update says, ever have you heard about a bunch of military groups being trained in Eritrea? Do you think they might be interested in joining Fano? Well, I know that Fano fighters were trained in Eritrea in the past when there was war in Tigray. Now, what we have learned is that some Sudanese are being trained in Eritrea. Some Sudanese fighters affiliated with groups in Darfur and maybe in eastern Sudan are being trained by Eritrean forces. And they're being trained to support Sudanese military against RSF. That is what I'm aware of. I'm not aware of any pro-farm elements being trained, funded in Eritrea. Afite Zola says, I heard Somalia Republic is contemplating granting Somaliland recognition if they tear down the deal with Ethiopia. I don't think so. I don't think so. Main bone of contention is recognition. Somalia knows that if Ethiopia recognized Somaliland, other countries would follow as. Eritrean representative said, Sajid, so far Abiy has managed to create more problems in East Africa. You don't have the guts to say so. That's hypocritical position of you. Well, which conflicts? Just tell me. War in Tigray, if it was a conflict created by Abiy, so Abiy was not alone. Abiy and Isas were teammates, both were on the same page. First conflict, first biggest conflict in the last 3 years was obviously Tigray. If you blame Abiy, then Abiy was not alone. Abiy and Isas, so do have the guts to blame both. Firstly. Secondly, Amhara region. I agree that Abiy shot in his foot when he disbanded Amhara Special Force. Bad decision, backfired, and we saw start of an uprising in the Amhara region. And this third move by Abiy about Somalia, it's a very calculated move. Abiy's government is convinced that it must have access to sea. And I think I wouldn't say that all neighboring countries are unresponsive, but some are unresponsive. Maybe they want to corner Ethiopia. But they did not treat Abiy's offer of talks in a responsible businessman like manner. They thought of pushing Abiy against the wall. Abiy is frustrated. And by the way, what has Isaias done in East Africa? So has he done something to bring peace to East Africa? What about other leaders in this part of the world? What is Hassan Sheikh doing? What about Sudan? What is happening there? What are Hamati and Al Burhan doing? It's not just Abiy. I think this is how all these rulers operate. I think Abiy believes that he is the one who has been sent to make big decisions, to make Ethiopia great again. He should come out of this illusion, this thinking. He should be grounded to the reality. Reality is that Ethiopia is in a mess, and he needs to focus on internal issues more than external issues. His priorities must be right. His priorities must not be like the priorities of developed countries. He should first ensure that his people have meal twice a day. People have access to drinking, clean drinking water. access to education, youths have jobs, but he is focusing too much on defense, on military. Maybe he believes that through military means he can achieve his objectives internally and externally too. Eritrea, Pearl of Red Sea says, what do you think will be the next strategic blunder of Abiy? No one knows. Magnetism says, Alim Haji does not ask real questions. Magnetism, what are real questions? I'll repeat what you write. Now, third news story of yours is from Gondar. Let me speak a little. Uh, in Gondar, Fano fighters entered a few days ago, 2 to 3 days ago. Their second entry in Gondar in the last few weeks. There was fighting on the streets of Gondar. They retreated. Then again, there was fighting in Kabul 18 of Gondar city. And in Gondar, in coming days, on the 20th of January, I think there'll be a big gathering of Epiphany Timkit. Before that, Gondar Fano fighters are issuing warnings. Warnings to people of Gondar. Reportedly, messages are being conveyed. Message are being conveyed to the people of Gondar. They should have no relations, no connections with Prosperity Party members. Secondly, firstly, secondly, militia members and police members as well. Fano fighters say that if anyone has been found having links with these police, militia, PP members, will be seen as legitimate targets. So people should disassociate themselves from those who are actively pursuing the military operation against Fano fighters. Is it a warning or a threat, whatever you call it? But Fano fighters want to ensure that the public stays away from supporting Prosperity Party members, militia and police members. They don't want people to join police and join militia. That is why they've been attacking militia meetings, police meetings. They have been warning people against attending the meetings, against sending their relative sons for recruitment to militia. So coming days are crucial in Gondar, especially the upcoming Timkit celebration going to be very key. Will Gondar Fano disrupt Timkit? And if Timkit is disrupted, how will church respond? Church already not happy with the government. Abu Abraham 2 days ago spoke, and Menen has been released at a palace. Menen Haile has been released from prison. The church already not happy, saying that its headquarters has been surrounded by security forces. Anyone leaving the church is being stopped and checked. And if there is no epiphany in Gondar, or if there is disruption to epiphany in Gondar, I think church will respond. People don't like when I say that church is losing a key area from where it gets lots of funds, and that is Amhara region, because of the conflict there. Tigray already split, and if there are no donations from Amhara region too, how will church survive? So such big gatherings are very important. Let's see what happens in coming days in Gondar. And by the way, ideally, the government would like a conflict between Fano and church. Government accuses Fano fighters of using church premises. So maybe government would like Epiphany to be disrupted, to create a conflict between Fano and church. I'm not saying government is working on disrupting Epiphany, but maybe there are fears. That is why Abu Abraham spoke 2 days ago. Math channel says, Sajid, you look like Gudala, one of Ethiopian tribes. Are you? I don't know. For the first time, I'm hearing this word, Gudala. David Kidane Mariam says, what do you think is the solution to the problem in the Amhara region? Literally, we are collapsing as a country in all aspects. The economy is going down. Well, a solution can only come at the table. Yes, positions taken by Fano and government are extreme. Uh, Fano groups want to remove PM Abiy. Abiy wants to crush Fano. So basically, there does not seem to be a common ground, but common ground is always found at the table. Solution, if there is to be found, can only be found at the table. Solution is talk, negotiation, and maybe the two sides can show some flexibility. So far, talks have not started. This is the main problem. At least in Oromia, the two sides met. Ola and government held talks twice so far. Talks collapsed. At least the two sides met. Here in Amhara, no signs of talks. This is the main problem. Talks should start, and maybe I always say talks should be held in public eye. People should know what is being discussed, what are the demands of the government and the other side. That is how you can expose the parties which undermine talks, which are responsible for the failure of talks. Agona says Sajid Gudala is another derogatory term for the Oromos by the Amharas. Okay, I did not know that it was such a bad term. We shouldn't use such terms, by the way. Let's not be hateful in the use of language towards others. Comsa says new talks are coming between the Ola and the government. Yes, I heard about that too. I am in the process of verification. I heard that 2 days ago. Let me confirm, then I'll speak on it. What is the definition of a hardliner? I believe the hardliner is the person who wants to achieve his objective through all means. And sometimes the means could involve use of violence. Ibo Press says, welcome back. This is Balanced Media. Thank you. Tegisti says, exactly, most discussions should be open since it affects civilians most. Yeah. Lastly, was last news story, fourth news story of this live chat from Sudan. It is being reported by some Sudanese news sources. A few Sudanese news sources. So maybe it's an unconfirmed news, but several Sudanese news sources are reporting that Al Burhan, Sudanese military chief, is on his way to Tehran, Iran. It's a big development. If it is confirmed, uh, so far only two Sudanese news sources have reported that. While we know that these days Iran is not on good terms with international community, with US. Iran has never been on good terms with the US, both threatening each other. But these days, since Houthis are attacking ships in the Red Sea and Houthis are backed by Iran, so Iran is being threatened by US. And a few hours ago, Joe Biden sent a special message to Iran. A special confidential message has been delivered to Iran. Americans are patrolling the Red Sea and their ships are being targeted. Commercial ships are being targeted. Americans and the British bombarded Yemen 2 days ago, more than 30 strikes on Houthi targets in Yemen. So, and Houthis say they are attacking those ships which are affiliated with Israel. So, Houthi attacks are a result of what is happening between Israel and Gaza based fighters. Entire Western world, US are accusing Iran that Iran is backing Houthis. Houthis are attacking commercial ships in the Red Sea. At this crucial time when the West is not happy with Iran's backing of Houthis, Al Burhan could visit Tehran. It's a big development. While Al Burhan could be visiting Tehran, what is Hamati doing? Hamati talked to Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General, a few hours ago. Hamati is gradually getting international acceptance. He's been invited to the IGAD meeting too, due to be held on the 18th of January. I think it will be held in Uganda. Uh, will Burhan attend the meeting? That remains to be seen. Burhan is not happy with the way Amati is being received in some countries. Amati has visited several countries in the past 2 weeks. Uganda, Ethiopia, Djibouti, Kenya, and some other countries too. And he's in touch. He talked to UN Secretary General too. So Hamati is getting international acceptance. Burhan being isolated. Burhan not happy. Burhan wants support from some country. Which country will give practical support to Burhan? By practical, I mean military support. Maybe that is why Burhan is visiting Iran, but still we are waiting for confirmation. Some Sudanese news sources say that Burhan is going to visit. If he visits Tehran, obviously uh, his ties with the US will be hurt and he will lose international allies. He has lost some African allies too. He might lose some international allies too. So Burhan is under immense pressure, I think, because Burhan's military has been pushed out of Khartoum, Darfur, to eastern part of Sudan, to southern part of Sudan, which are tribal areas controlled by tribal elders. Honesty Galore says Burhan gets full support from the troublemaker in the region called Isaias. Yeah, Burhan is an ally of Isaias Afwerki, but to say that Isaias supported Burhan, uh, I don't think that Isaias supported Burhan when this war started. Isaias is a relatively new entry after Burhan's force, Burhan somehow managed to escape from Khartoum. Then he requested Eritrean help, and Eritrea started intervening. Still, we cannot say that Eritrea is intervening in Sudan in terms of sending its military. Its involvement is proxy, and I wouldn't say it's a significant involvement. Cap OG says, what is your honest opinion? Which forces are strong? ENDF, Fano, EDF, TDF, Ola. How to compare all these forces? in just a few minutes. Yeah, Simon, I agree. Burhan seemed to be very hesitant to welcome Isaias when he took power. Yeah, Isaias offered to mediate between Burhan and FFC, but Burhan then rebuffed Isaias's attempts of mediation. I did some videos back then, I remember. You're right. It was 46 minutes have passed. I think we should end this live chat session. Uh, Liz Elias joined to welcome Liz Elias. She says, I'm too late, but hello. Hello, Liz. Let me give a roundup of what we discussed, Liz, for you especially, because you joined late. We talked about Somaliland, where people are being arrested, in Burama, where there was no Samuel. I don't ignore you. You're always with me, brother. Uh, in Somaliland, in Burama, a protest was held against the MOU a few days ago. That is why government forces have launched a crackdown. Dozens have been arrested, mainly youths. Those who organized the protests are being arrested. Secondly, we talk about Menen Haile, Tafira Mahmoud's wife, who was arrested around 5 months ago. She's an Eritrean, and reportedly she has been released from prison. Gezagan joined late as well today. Thirdly, we talked about Fano. Gondar Fano has issued a warning to the people of Gondar city. They say people of Gondar city must disassociate themselves from Prosperity Party, police, and militia members. Otherwise, they'll be seen as legitimate targets. So, coming Epiphany, Temkit celebration are to be very important in Gondar. Lastly, Burhan. Unconfirmed reports indicate that Sudan's military chief Al Burhan is heading to Iran to get military support from Iran, but so far report is unconfirmed. While Burhan is going to Iran, Hamati talked to Antonio Guterres, UN Secretary General. Hamatis RSF are getting international acceptance, while Burhan is isolated, trying to find allies. This is what we discussed in this live chat. Let me read LM Gizao's comment. Member LM says the hate and name calling between Roma and Amhara here should be unacceptable. Yes, unacceptable between any two parties which use this type of language. It does not serve any purpose. I mean, if you want to express your point of view, use logic. That is how you can convince others. Abusing others, calling names won't convince others. You cannot convince anyone by calling names or by using hateful language. Thank you, viewers. Stay blessed. I'll be back tomorrow with the next live chat with new stories for you. Thank you for staying in touch. Thank you for making the reporting better. Thank you for helping me improve the quality of reporting as well. We have found several new viewers and chat participants from Somalia, Somaliland, small region of Ethiopia. I'm grateful to all of you. Thank you for joining. See you tomorrow in the next live chat session. Stay blessed. Bye bye.